Could the Chicago Bulls be looking to draft the best defender in this year's NBA draft as one of the prospects? We're going to talk about that. And to end the show, I'm going to go ahead and play a voicemail left by one of our guys here on Shy Bulls Podcast. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it down, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in with me today, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, we know that the NBA draft is right around the corner later this week. And the Chicago Bulls, they have been making some moves on their roster. That includes coaches, and that includes some players as well. We've seen Alex Caruso get up out of here. Unfortunately, you get Josh Giddey in return, and the Chicago Bulls still got a lot of work to do before we can be satisfied with the team that's going to be placed on the court for our Chicago Bulls. Now, this player that I want to talk about specifically is just a player who the Chicago Bulls worked out alongside Terrence Shannon Jr., Cal Filipowski, and a number of other players. This player right here is Ryan Dunn out of the University of Virginia. He was a Virginia Cavalier. And let me tell you something about this guy, Ryan Dunn, that I really, really like. Some of his strengths and what I like from this young guy. First of all, this guy's a 6'8" forward at 216 pounds. This is coming straight from the Virginia Cavaliers website on how they have their man lined up. There's a few discrepancies. If you look on ESPN, they got him listed at 6'6". So for the sake of this discussion, we're going to say the man is between 6'6" and 6'8". Maybe one measurement is without shoes. The other one is with shoes. I'm trying to see how he gained 2 inches, and I can't even gain 2 inches. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to height, no diddy. You feel me? So we just trying to figure out what's going on with this young fella here. But to start off, I will say that this young guy is very, very intriguing prospect with some things that I'm a little turned off with, but I'm going to start off with the good. Now, the good is that this guy is between 6'6" and 6'8". That's the good thing. And he's a versatile defender. He can guard your guards. He can guard wings and even some of the bigs that's been down there. And that's some of the things that he's done throughout his collegiate career. One thing that I really, really love, I believe this guy is already kind of carving out what he could be in the NBA. I would say a solid 3-and-D player. The 3, it has to come on, and he got to add that to his game. There's a lot of things he got to add to the game, but one thing that you cannot say is this guy is a bad defender. A lot of people have this guy slated as the best draft prospect in the entire draft, and good reason why. The young fella is a guy who came in. He blocked a ton of shots. My guy came in, and for his average after starting 34 games this past season, my guy gave his team, the Cavaliers, 2.3 blocks per game and grabbed 7 rebounds. So this is a guy, from when you're looking at the film matches the box scores or those stat sheets that you look at, because you could say, damn, how he get that rebound? Damn, he jumping out the gym blocking that shot like that. Damn, it's another chase down block. Oh my God, this guy is really creating and wreaking havoc on the opposing team's offensive player, whoever that may be. Now, this guy played 2 years for the University of Virginia. His first season as a freshman, he didn't start any games, but he did see tick. And then when you seen an uptick in games started and games played, you see numbers kind of jump up a little bit. Do they jump up to a point to where you say, hey, this is an absolute steal in the draft? No, they don't do that. But I can say, like, look, if this is a guy that you are going to absolutely look at, because we know our Chicago Bulls reach a lot. They reach a lot. And AK and Mark Eversley has shown that they have a criteria for what they like when they draft said players. You look at Patrick Williams, you look at Julian Phillips, you look at Dalen Terry. What do these guys all have in common? They have a physical skill set to where they're either, long. They come with a little bit of this, they come with a little bit of that, and sometimes they are a project. Those last three drafts, those last three players I mentioned, they had some things that you can work with defensively, but there was a lot of work to be done offensively when you talk about these young fellas. Now, there are some things when you try to decipher amongst the three that I mentioned in Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, and Patrick Williams, you say, hey, this guy was a little bit more prepared offensively than the other, and that's fair. And that's something that you will have to work on if the Bulls go out and reach and draft for Ryan Dunn. Me personally, this is not a person that I will select at 11, but it's something that you have to consider because this guy comes in and provides something that the Bulls will need now that they've gotten rid of Alex Caruso, and that's more size, more length, more defensive ability. Now, when you talk about it, or at least try to compare him to what you gave up in a Alex Caruso, this guy will not cut it from the three-point line. So that's when we talk about the strengths. The strengths is this guy's a hell of a defender. He can rebound. He can attack the basket here and there. His offensive game needs a lot of work. That's the weakness that comes up when you look at Ryan Dunn. Now, the offensive game, when you talk about a guy that's going to come in and try to provide something for the Chicago Bulls, I think he could be a player you can insert for sure to defend. But this is the NBA. The defense is a little bit different. You got to come in with something offensively as a young player to give to your team. Now, let's not go ahead and kill him. He only played 2 years in college. You know what I'm saying? So he has a little bit more skin in the game than some of the prospects that might be chosen before him. But he does have a lot of things you can work with. It's just that some of those red flags that come up offensively is a little bit, a little bit of a turnoff for me per se. Some of the good offensively, though, I will say this man is 61% from the field. And that is because a lot of the times he's operating within that paint on that low post, you know what I'm saying, somewhere near the basket. The downfall is the man only shot 20% from the three, and he only took one attempt. So that means you're not getting the volume. You're not getting the efficiency. So there is some lacking things that you have to sit here and sit to the table and decipher. Is this a guy that I really, really want just for defensive purposes? Me personally, I will say no. But knowing who we dealing with, that's something that you have to always take into account regardless, because let's keep it a buck. Some guys could absolutely come into this thing, not really have much of an offensive bag, get with some trainers, start working on their game, develop, and they become better players. Sometimes they come in without that three-point shot, but they've worked so hard on things that they are able to now become a solid 3-and-D type player. Me personally, I don't know what this guy's ceiling is. I don't see it as being very, very high, but I could absolutely be wrong on that case because this young guy, just as the forward that he is, he went up from one blocking the freshman year up to 2.3, and that I believe during the nation that locked him in the top 6. Yes. So when it comes to blocks per game, he was ranked 16th nationally. That's hundreds and hundreds of players. So that's something that you can continue to work with and build on. But the good thing is, regardless of the discrepancies or the limitations offensively, the guy brings a big punch defensively. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that the Bulls will have to strongly look at and consider, because this is something that I ran across from looking at him and looking at some of the stat sheets and looking at how well-rounded he was as a player. I say this: you can't play 65 games and only shoot 12 and only make 12 3-pointers. That's a turnoff for me, because I know that this league is a 3-point shooting league. The NBA, it is. You absolutely will have to defend, and you can load up on the wings all that you want. But if the wing is just giving you defense with not much offense, it's something that you really, really have to be like, hold on now. I need this, especially if the route is to go younger. The route is to go younger. The route is to let's compete, let's raise the game or try to change the direction of this young team. That's something you really, really have to think about. You know what I'm saying? Not a high volume 3-point shooter. And when he shot him, he was bricking. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing, look, Look, I'm not asking my big man to come out here and be an 80% shooter from the free throw line, but this guy only shot 53%, y'all. Only shot 53% from the free throw line. I mean, it went up from last year. I could give him that, but you know, it's still a little bit shaky for me. So this is a prospect overall that I'm looking at, and I'm like the Chicago Bulls. I'm like, look, man, there are other options that should be available. I know that this young player is not even within that top 15, but a lot of people can see other teams reaching for him because what he can't provide defensively. But this is not a defensive league, and that's where it becomes an issue for me. So hopefully the Chicago Bulls continue to do their due diligence. Hopefully this young player is continue to work on his game. I haven't seen much workout video on him. I am not a Virginia fan, so I don't really know if, you know what I'm saying, if videos have been released upon this guy and he's working now, he's taking 1,000 3-point or 300 3-pointers in a day, or how many ever 3 points he wants to accumulate in a said workout. So it's still a little bit shaky for me. Me personally, he falls kind of like towards that bottom of the list. Me, my number one guy that I'm absolutely will draft if he's there is Khalil Ware. That's my personal favorite. Another favorite might be a Dalton Knecht. I like his game, and he comes with a big offensive bag. So those would probably be my two on my board. Ryan Dunn, I believe he's an intriguing prospect, but he has a lot of work to do. I view him as a project. Right now, I don't think we need a project that we got to come in and create the whole canvas for. You know what I'm saying? Or say, hey, we can do the outlining, but we need to fill it in. I believe that there are some prospects to where you can go up, look at the canvas and say, hey, that we got the outline. There are some shades of this picture that's been painted already. We just got to touch it up a little bit with a little bit of expertise. You know what I'm saying? I hope that analogy kind of painted the picture. But, hey, let me know your thoughts below on Ryan Dunn. I got a lot of questions in regards to this young player. I don't think he's a terrible young player. I think he brings a lot defensively, but I want to be more offensively focused if I'm the Chicago Bulls, because if you're going to a youth movement, you need guys that can put the ball in the basket. I understand the defense is it's something you still have to think about on the basketball court, but I want guys that are more offensively inclined and conducive to winning Bulls basketball, because we need to change the profile of this team, because we've been ranked near the bottom in 3-point attempts, 3-pointers made, in points per game. So the way we uptick that is to find more guys that are offensively inclined than what Ryan Dunn is. But hey, before we get up out of here, I want to go ahead and play a voicemail left by my guy Shay. We're going to go ahead and show him some love. He has some thoughts on Josh Giddey. So here it is.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Shay. Look, I know that a lot of people are upset about this Josh Giddey trade, and I'm kind of with them. The reason why is because we didn't get no draft capital, which we should have been getting, especially OKC. They got a lot of it, especially for Alex Caruso. Number two, the only way I see Josh Giddey benefiting in our system is if he moves over to the small forward spot. I know Bobby said that a lot of people point guards and some another, but I know a lot of small forward people who are primary ball handlers on the team. Luka Doncic is one. Another thing, if Josh Giddey is going to achieve his fullest potentials, DeMar DeRozan has to go, because DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if y'all remember, he took the ball out of Lonzo Ball's hands a lot. So the way I see it, Josh Giddey is going to be our 3. And let's think about it. He does have the size of it more than he is a point guard. And then, too, he's going to be able to guard a lot of threes because he's not fast enough to guard point guards. That's just how I see it happen, especially if you're going to play him next to Kobe White, who's turned into a decent defender but not necessarily a good defender. Or we may use him as draft capital to move up in that draft. You never know. Because I don't see how this is good for just him straight up for Alex Caruso. But that's just my opinion. Peace.
All right. Well, thank you, Shay, for calling in, my guy. It's always a pleasure. to hear your thoughts. You definitely be giving some good ones. Hey, but I'm going to say this. I'm with every Bulls fans who feels like we should have gotten more. I'm with that. The problem is that they didn't. I'm with everybody that said, bro, you couldn't get a second round pick. You couldn't get nothing. Like, these guys have picks galore. You know what I'm saying? And let's keep it a buck. We traded you, Alex Caruso. Your team drastically improved. You know what I'm saying? Maybe drastically is the wrong word to use, but you get an Alex Caruso. This is a versatile defender who a lot of people have as at least the bare minimum a top 3 perimeter defender in his league. You might mention Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, and you got to come across Alex Caruso after that for perimeter defenders. And some guys might start joining Jaden McDaniels in there. Fair. That still leaves Alex Caruso somewhere on that list. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with everybody on that. Now, when we talk about placement for the Chicago Bulls, look, if he's going to play the 3, he has the size to play it. And I'm okay with that. And I think that when you have Giddey, a guy that's 6'8", with his passing ability, he has to touch the ball. That's just me. He has to initiate some offense. Me personally, I want to have him on the court alongside Kobe White. Whoever's going to be that starting point guard, that's who's going to be that starting point guard. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, in my opinion, because we've seen examples of teams to where it kind of worked. You know what I'm saying? With multiple guys operating and handling the ball. I'm not saying we the Boston Celtics, but that was one of my analogies once we went live. I said the Boston Celtics had 4 guys that can initiate offense, who can handle the ball, and they still knew that the point guard at the end of the day was Drew Holiday. We all knew that, but they still had 4 ball handlers on the court at one time. Now, if you're looking at the Chicago Bulls, you say Kobe White, he can handle the ball. I don't know if Ayo Dosunmu is going to be penciled in as a starter, but he can handle the ball. And if you add Josh Giddey at that 3, like you said, Shay, or like some of us think that Josh Giddey can be placed at, now you got 3 ball handlers on the court who should be able to initiate some offense, calm things down, and run Billy Donovan's system the way it needs to be ran so we can see better Bulls basketball. That's that. And you won't have ball-dominant guys like a DeMar DeRozan. We shall see. You won't have a ball-dominant guy like a Zach LaVine. Now you should see more free-flowing offense to where guys are moving around. Offense is being initiated, hopefully, and then we see what happens out of that. Because if we talking about those 3 guys that I just mentioned, in Ayo, Kobe, and Giddey, that's your 1 through the 3. You still got Patrick Williams if you elect to keep him on there. Or if you can find a replacement, whoever that may be, boom, you're still solid. And then your center spot, me personally, I still see Nikola Vucevic kind of being here, even though I would love to move him. That's just me, because I believe the Bulls should get more athletic, more younger at their center spot. I think it still could be a good fit for whoever that center is. You know what I'm saying? Because of the passing ability. And now you got 3 initiators on the court who pretty much, and 2 of them can defend pretty damn well. Ayo can defend his ass off, you know what I'm saying, and in most games. And then if you keep Patrick Williams, now you got your best defender on the court as well as your best 3-point shooter on the court as well. So it's something that you gotta definitely think about. We gotta go ahead and see how they piece this thing together. I know we have our thoughts, they have theirs. Hopefully, most of our thoughts can get to their desk or get in their ear. No Diddy. so they can hear and see the many different ways that the Bulls can go with this decision on how they can construct a winning team. That's what it really comes down to. But thank you so much, Shay, for calling in, man. It's definitely a great topic to continuously talk about, to see if Josh Giddey is a better fit at the 1 or the 3. Me, I say as long as he's on the court, you should be fine. That's how I look at it, because you looked at Kobe White. When Kobe White wasn't able to operate, he deferred to Ayo and DeMar. So he's not going to have the ball or have a high usage rate, but he can still be the damn starting point guard. Now you can just share some of those responsibilities with your new 3, a better passer, a better playmaker than DeMar DeRozan, and you can just see what the hell happens. That's just how I view it. That's my take on it. Down below, leave your take on it. And talk about Ryan Dunn as well. How do you guys feel about him? I see him as being a defensive specialist who needs a lot of work offensively if we want to say his game fits what the Chicago Bulls are trying to do. Let me know your thoughts down below. Go ahead and call in if you want to be a part of this episode like this, to where you get your voicemail played on an episode. I break it down, C-Dub breaks it down, or both of us, and then we'll let you know where you stand. For those who left the voicemails in the past, those been over a week past that. We do apologize. I was moving, so C-Dub didn't have the system necessary to play the voicemails over the episode, but now we are back. So call in, leave your voicemail, leave your take. We heading into draft week. I would love to know who you guys will take with the 11th pick. Let me know. Call in. The number is 773-242-9219. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.